Hello and welcome to Tales from Spamyard. It's snowing. It doesn't snow here very often. Hopefully it'll snow tonight. Alright, so I've been stockpiling materials and some of my fences fell down. So I'm just keeping it all there as in piled up ready for either burning or reusing. This pile of materials here is going to become an altar fire. I've got plenty more stone around the corner if I need it, and also might incorporate an oven. So it will be 2 fires and an oven, and then these 2 bits of pot here are going to be a hob. So I'll have a grill, an oven and a hob. That's the plan. Fingers crossed. Going to bring the whole fire pit back this way, and yeah, make an altar out of the rocks and these couple of bits of oak I found in the river, just to raise the fire up a bit. That's the general idea. Now I'm going to have a back row of stones. I'll probably flatten this sheet out. I'll put like a layer underneath there of like malleable sort of mud. Lay that on top so it like sticks down quite nicely. And then another layer of mud in like sort of a C shape around there. And then stone on top of that. Get some nice flat stones now. And sort of build in the actual fire pit.
Today I'll build a tree house far away from home. In a distant forest, my tree house stands alone. On the cold and misty mornings, I'll stoke my little stove, put my kettle on the hob, and forget about all of my woe.
So that's the idea. Now I get a load more mud on top of there and stones, and set in the grill. Okay, next phase. Righto, there's the finished article. Now I'm going to light a fire and see how it performs. Try. Okay. There it goes. I've cheated with this fire, I've just covered it in meths. It's a chimney fire, so by the time the meths is burnt, it should be light. I think this is how they do it in film sets, when you see, like, I don't know, I'm watching Game of Thrones, and they're sat around these fires, and they're obviously fake fires. They've either got a gas burner buried in the ground, or they've just got a load of sticks like that, chucked a load of meths over them, and just lit the meths. You know, because there's no embers to any of these fires when you look at them. There's not an ember. It's like, that's not a fire, there's no embers. It's just like logs burning, but there's no embers to them. It's just like, I don't know, freshly cut logs burning. That was work to treat, isn't it, with the meths? Cheats way to light a fire. Build a chimney like a Jenga. Build like a Jenga chimney. Fill it full of tiny sticks. Chuck a load of meths on it and just set it on fire. And there we go. What I'm testing tonight really is to see where the smoke goes, because people used to come down here and sit around the fire and they just get smoke in their eyes all the time. So I'm trying to set it up. Man, that's really nice as well. That heat is like directed at the groin area. It's really quite nice. So there we go, got a fire. I think it's going to work pretty good. Right, here's my bed set up. Malcolm gave me an old camp bed. He said he's never going to use it again. So, got that. At the back there I've put up a piece of tarp, which I'm going to get some more masonry nails, bang a load of batten in, and then put timber clad that. So that'll be nice and warm. Up here I've started infilling in between these. So that's going to be really nice. I've also done a lot up here, filling in these. There's my little elf. Finishing all the little bits of detailing off, just to make it more windproof, really. But yeah, pretty amazing. It's coming together nicely. My latest spoon carving effort. So yeah, this gnarly knot in it. And when I started carving it, it naturally went into that sort of shape. So I thought, well, you know what, sod it. I'll carve it into this heart. Here's some of the examples of some of the spoons I've carved recently. This chap over here is for like scooping out coffee granules or whatnot. I use it for this, so scoop of that, lovely, and it lives in there as well. This is my daily spoon, I love it. Try and get the light. There we go. I've been eating porridge with it, so it gets stained with porridge. Well, chocolate oats. This is my breakfast chocolate oats, which I make with nice dark chocolate. And these I'm going to give away or sell, I don't know. And this is my sort of ladle for ladling out stew and whatnot. But if anyone wants me to make them a spoon, just send me an email, samspongeruk@yahoo.co.uk, or Facebook, Spamyard Picklesberg. I'll make you a spoon, and I'll have to charge you something for them, obviously, but it'll be on donation. So name me a price. You know, don't take a mick. Don't say like a quid, because it won't be worth it. It's just like, what's the point in me spending 6 to 8 hours? Well, yeah, about 6 hours, I suppose, start to finish, with all the sanding involved. Yeah, you know, reasonable price would be about a fiver for something like that, I'd say. You know, that's about £1 an hour. So it's not particularly good money, is it? But any money's good money to me, because I don't spend money. I can live on £20 for 2 weeks. Right on. Here's the mission right now. I'm sawing bits off this. This whole log here, which is perfectly seasoned, because I'm struggling to find firewood which is seasoned, was hanging out of this tree yesterday. So I roped it all up, and it took a while swinging it around and this and that until it finally fell down. So now I'm just sawing it up into bits. It's a bit of a mission, but it's really good firewood. And there's something else down here. Find loads of cool gear. This big piece here, I'm going to do something with that, turn it into a bench. There's another bit there. And all this slate that I've gathered up. I'm going to use this stuff here as a hearth for the fireplace, which would be really nice. Have a slate hearth. It's a smashing day. Loads of stuff on this foreshore. 3 Bs. Got a nice amount of firewood back. I think my plan here is going to be off this edge here, have a little corrugated iron down stand, a couple of corner posts, make this into a wood store. Then on top of here, I'm going to get pallets and make this into a decked area, and put decking up there made out of pallet timber, and maybe a tarp over the top, but I don't know. That's a possibility, but probably not. I'd probably just deck it so I can eat breakfast up there in the summer, or dinner or whatnot. It'll just be a nice place to sit in the evening when it's a nice warm day. For now I've got to chop up all this wood, get ready for tonight, because it's going to be cold tonight. Apparently someone told me -3. Right, so I just grabbed a load of stone from down by the river. I've dug out the fire pit, got a bag full of potash. This was the stuff that was just left when I've dug it all out of there. It's here, so I just poured a load of water on it, started mixing it up. Look at this stuff. It's like proper cement. So I'm buzzing with that. I'll set these nice big bits of slate I found. God, my back's gone. Here we go, there's one. So I'm going to pick these up now and set them in there. I've got one there. I've got another 2 over there. But first of all, I'm going to lay them out and work out what's the best way. Right on. Okay, got me hearth in. Got a nice fire. It's about, I don't know, 6:30. February 26th. As you can see, I'm pretty well togged up today. It's very cold outside. There's an easterly wind as well. It's quite strong. It's real bad wind chill. I was going to do some work, but I've just been out collecting firewood and I haven't got any gloves. So I don't know if I'm going to do any work today. It's just really cold. So yeah, I'm going to sit by my fire and stay warm. I've got 7 layers on top, 2 t-shirts, thermal underwear, a woolly jumper, another woolly jumper, and my coat. And I've got thermal leggings and trousers and 3 pairs of socks. Yeah, it's pretty chilly today. But bit of heat kicking out of that. Oh, and what I did yesterday was put these in my hearth. Found 2 really big bits of slate down by the river and carried them up. And they're set in like homemade concrete, which I used the potash from the fire, the white ash that collects. You mix that with mud and like sandy mud, and it just turns into almost like concrete. So that's ideal, really. I haven't taken any footage of the building of this hob system, but you can see what it is. It's fairly straightforward, and it's all airtight due to the fact I've used this sort of like bush concrete, mate. What you do is you get mud and water, and then you dig out your fire pit and you chuck in this stuff by volume about 50-50, but this obviously shrinks down and the mud doesn't. And when I bake this in a minute, this should go alright. There might be a few cracks and stuff, but we'll see. Even that, I'll just paste it in, so I'm not that bothered. So now I'm just gonna I've made up some little sticks. I'm gonna go get some embers from my other fire and just chuck them in here. So back in a moment. I've got it nicely fueled up now. Modified the design. I've taken the top chimney off. So now I've just got the bottom flue. Then sort of a cross flow and maybe a little bit of side flow here. Now I'm just waiting for the fire to reset. But it's drawing alright. All the smoke's coming out the hole. It's just coming from a funky direction. This is why I want the windbreak over here. It's also got a windbreak there. That will then go up. That smoke will go up before moving along. So that's really starting to cook that nicely now. I like it. It's a good design. It's worked alright. Chuffed with it. And nice and crispy. I've got a bit of an egg on. Making eggs on my new cooking system. I don't know how much I'm going to use it, but I'll probably use it more in the summer. Spread my yolk about with me stick I found on the floor. Hey. I've just built this so nothing sat up around here. I just thought, right, get some bacon eggs on. And in there, what we got? Yeah, some nice embers. There's still lots of heat, so I could put water on there now. I'll get some water going. Feed in a few more sticks. The thing I don't like about this is I can't smother it like that one up there. I'll put this back on, I'll smother it down, and I've got an instant ember base for the next fire. So I'm always saving a bit of charcoal each time. This one you can't smother it. So, you know, pros and cons, but it's fun, it's novel, I like it. Good fun doing that.
Yeah, you don't see very often. Look at that. Loving it. Because it's so cold, it's settled really well. I haven't even lit a fire yet today. Oh, I just woke up really. Went for a turn out about an hour ago. Got back into bed because it's freezing. Reading a book. Looked out the window and saw this. It's amazing. It's nice to get a good fire going. So it's been kind of snowy outside, so I've been busy carving up spoons and sporks and stuff. The light's fading, it's getting dark. There's one I've done. Got a fork at one end and a shovel at the other. Here's just a nice one. Sort of serving spoon, it's a right-hander. Here's another right-hander which I haven't finished. That's a big old serving spoon. Or if you've got a big gob and you like eating loads of beans at once. Just a bean scoop. No messing with the bean scoop. And then a little diddy one. The handle's really long at the moment, but I'll probably take the handle down. Make it cuter, because it'll probably snap there anyway. So I'll just take the handle down to where my thumb is. So it'll be about that long. Get it in proportion in it. I guess it's 1 and 1.6. The length of the bowl would be quite nice. Because that's too long. I carved it like that just because it isn't finished. They've all got to be sanded. When they're sanded you can bring out the real curves and the beauty of it. These are all just rough cuts, just need sanding. So I've been busy. These are tales from the Spamyard. Tonight's tale is about a young man called Willis. Now, it was a time of feasting in the kingdom, and there was a tradition where they would bake a great cake and chop it into 12 pieces, and 12 children would all have a piece of cake. And so this year the seer had seen in the fates that one of the children in the village was going to be a great man. So he placed inside the cake a golden star. When the cake was cut, the golden star would be in one of the pieces of cake. Nobody knew this. The children didn't know it. None of the adults didn't know it. Only the seer knew. So they're all tucking into the cake. And this one lad, he was a small lad, wasn't the biggest, wasn't the strongest, but he was watchful and he knew his own mind. And he found this golden star and went, "Wow, look what I found in the cake, a gold star." And the other boys were jealous and they give him a few digs. But the seer from afar was watching to see who got the gold star, and he saw that Willis had got the gold star. And so the next day he went to him and he said, "I saw last night you picked up the gold star from the cake. You are a marked man, or a marked boy. Here, take these 2 copper coins and put them underneath your pillow tonight, and then come and see me tomorrow and tell me what you dreamt about." So Willis was a bit shocked. So he took the 2 copper coins, put them under his pillow, and then fell to sleep. In his dream he awoke, and he was on the side of a riverbank, and in his pocket he had the 2 copper coins. Now he could see a riverman in a boat, so he went down to the riverman. He said, "It'll cost you 1 copper coin to cross my river." So he thought, well, I'll give him the copper coin, I can always come back again and pay a copper coin to come back the other way. So he paid the ferryman the copper coin, and he rowed him across the river. Now, when he got to the other side, it was a frozen world. Everything was ice. There was no heat. And he walked and saw an entranceway into a cavern. The cavern was lit, sort of backlit by an eerie light. And inside, he could see, within the ice, the shapes of frozen bodies and children, all frozen into the ice. And he was kind of freaked out. He was like, whoa. And he looked closely, and there he saw his sister frozen in ice. And he kind of freaked out, and he was like, whoa, my sister's in here. And he was really took aback. And so he thought, right, I need to mark this place. And so he cut a little nick in his finger and dabbed blood on the walls, because it was basically a labyrinth. He was in a maze. He didn't know where he was, but he wanted to mark his sister, and he wanted to know how to get back to her too, because he wanted to save her from the ice. So he dabbed the blood, and then went down one corridor, came to a dead end, came back to where I followed the blood back, and went down another corridor, dabbing blood all the way, and eventually he got to the end of this great maze, this great labyrinth. And at the end he found a red sword, just laying in the ice. No one was around. So how peculiar. It's just a sword here. He picked the sword up and he touched it against the snow, and the snow melted very quickly. It started to smoke and steam. He could see this sword had some kind of magical power, and it had been brought here by someone and put in the Ice Kingdom. So he thought, well, I know what I can do with the sword. I can go and cut my sister out of the ice and free her. So he followed his trail of blood back, and he found his sister, and he cut her out of the ice, and then used the sword, just pressed it onto her heart and warmed her up, and she suddenly came back to life. He's like, oh wow, that's amazing. And then he decided, right, we've got to get out of here, to his sister. And so they went back to the ferry, and he only had the 1 coin. And so they were stuck, because the ferryman said it's 1 coin per person. And he was shocked, and he was like, oh no, who's going to go? And the sister said, look, this is my fate. Maybe I was supposed to be down here, and you shouldn't have even freed me. You should have just gone back. So I'll stay here wandering in this ice world for eternity. You have to go back. And he was all busted up. He started crying, and he was all broken down. But in the end, he gave the ferryman the copper coin and went back and took the sword with him. And he said to his sister, I will come back for you. I will find a way to come back to this kingdom and save you. And she said, okay, no worries. So he went back over the ferry. When he got to the other side, he walked back up the hill. And then, suddenly he woke up. And he was in his bedroom again. Totally freaked out. And the first thing he thought about was, where's my sister? Where's my sister? And so he jumped out of bed. And as he did, the door burst open. And there was an old wizard who had just burst in. He said, I know what you have seen. And the young Willis was totally freaked out. He's like, this is like, my dream is real. And the wizard said, look under the bed. He looked under the bed, and there's the red sword. And the wizard said, give me that sword now. It's too powerful for you to wield. But one day you'll find it. It's your sword. Destiny has marked you. You're the only one that can wield this sword. And so he gave the sword to the wizard, who left. Willis then ran to his sister's room. His sister was fine. She didn't know anything about it. So he was really confused. He's like, I saw you in my dream and you were frozen in ice. And she said, stop being silly. So the wizard took the sword and he thrust it into a stone where it laid, locked fast in the stone, fused with the heat of the sword. And then the sword's heat went out and it just looked like a rusty old rubbish sword stuck in the stone somewhere. The end. To be continued.